Welcome to the Sound and Healing Podcast, where life is experienced, sound is celebrated, and healing is inevitable. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome, listeners. Welcome to the 5th episode of The Sound and the Healing. And it appears you will be stuck with me solo again for this episode. Much has been going on. I mean, my goodness, the last episode I recorded was in March, and my mom fell ill, and she passed at the end of May. So there's been much going on with me. And I know Rohini has had a lot on her plate as well. I won't go into that. Our plan is for the two of us to be back, partners in crime, in July to record an episode. So I'm sure she will speak to what all has been going on with her at that time. But in the meantime, I really wanted to record another show because it just seems like there's been too much time between the last one and this one. As I said, I have been processing and experiencing a lot between March and now. It's the beginning, middle of June. Yes, much going on with my mom. I'm an only child, so the care for my mom has been me. My dad passed about 10 years ago, and I made a decision a while ago to have her come live with me. So she's been living with me in New Orleans for about 8 years, and she was physically challenged, so it's difficult for her to move around. She was able to do basic things by herself, but, getting to doctor's appointments towards the end, cooking, stuff where she would have to stand for more than 5 or 10 minutes at a time was challenging for her. So the two of us living together worked well. We lived in a home where I had an upstairs kind of sanctuary for myself, and she had the master suite on the first floor. And so, I had a gift of being able to it's odd to say this, but have an intimate relationship with my mother. I got to know her as an adult. Know her patterns, know her timing, know her sound. Outside of the childlike parameters of our parents being gods, I knew her as a real person. And because of that, I was able to let go of maybe some of those early childhood resentments and traumas, where I think we as children always assume it's about us, right? Anything that's going wrong, anything that upsets us, we must have done something wrong or being punished, So I was able to unpack that and get to know my mom as a real human being. I never realized she was as funny as she was. She had this real dry sense of humor that, of course, as a kid, I had no clue about. So lots of that, and experiencing her passing. We decided to bring her home from the hospital. She never did well in the hospital. I would go and visit her, and each day there would be a descent. And we were at the point in her life, she was 85 years old, where she had certain conditions in her body where she had decided that she didn't want to have surgery to improve them. And so I respected that wish, and we decided to bring her home for hospice care, thinking she'd either rally, which hospice is a little different these days. They provide you the care and the support, and they hope that, the the patient rallies. So I thought she might again. She's a very determined, resilient woman. And I figured if she didn't rally, then it hopefully would be a smooth transition. And it was. So for me, this last month, she actually passed May 22nd. And for me, it's been an interesting time. I'm not grieving, I don't think, in a normal, of course, what is normal? And that's the thing, isn't it? None of us grieve in a normal way. It's specific to each of us. My experience has been, I feel like Mom is embarking on a new chapter, and I feel like I'm embarking on a new chapter. I get to do what I want to do in any moment of my life right now. So I'm experiencing what us musicians would call a key change. What do I want my rhythm to be in this new chapter? What do I want this pacing to be? So I've been really kind of feeling a stillness, allowing myself to go into a silence, to let myself become who I'm going to become. So that's been fun. It's been exciting. My body reacted a little stronger than I had anticipated. I went through a period of time where my body just kind of purged. And I don't think I realized how tired I was, caring for someone. And at the end, she was bedridden. So I was doing some heavy lifting there in terms of attending to her. And you forget, it's amazing what we all rise to and what we all are capable of doing when we need to and when we've made a decision that we want to. So I kind of had to let my body decompress, my body just kind of be for a week. I was exhausted. So that's kind of been the last couple months for me. I know, my goodness, I'd occasionally tune in to the world, take a look at the news, check in with friends, kind of see what was going on out there. And wow, lots going on. Lots of unrest, lots of confusion. I don't think, well, I know since I've been alive in this body, I don't know that we've ever been in a place like this where the old structures appear to be falling apart, dismantling. And I feel in my gut that there's opportunity for new. There's opportunity for some real paradigm shifts. And I don't know that we as a collective quite know what to create next. And I hope we will allow, hearkening back to music, some of the most powerful moments in a piece can be little spots of silence before maybe there's a tempo shift, before maybe there's a key change, before there's something, just that pause before the new melody emerges. And so I really hope we have enough trust in ourselves, have enough trust in those around us as humans to allow that pause, to allow that silence, to just dream for what we want next. Because I think the danger can be that part of us that perhaps only experienced life a certain way and is couched and comforted in those old paradigms may want to bring that back in, and that's where we can get clouded and biased. So let's celebrate this time and allow the pause and trust each other. Goodness, so I'm sitting up here and there's a thunderstorm happening outside here in New Orleans. We've been getting a lot of rain, which has been lovely actually, because it doesn't rain the whole day here typically. We just get one of those tropical thunderstorms in the afternoon. So that's been lovely, having the time to attend the garden. I've been putting in some new flower beds. I've been weeding a lot, which also has been helping me a great deal as I am coming back into fullness, anchoring back to myself. So yes, that's what I've been up to in the last couple months. What's new to come? Well, I've been doing a lot of purging of the house, clearing out that which there's no need for any longer. Goodwill and I have become fast friends. And I'm taking the opportunity to purge my own stuff as well. I'm going to be moving into where Mom lived. She had a beautiful master suite with a gorgeous master bathroom, a tub to die for, which I have surrounded with orchids, and I'm just loving. So I'm taking this time to really purge my own belongings too. Share what no longer works for me, and really looking into what lights me up these days and just keeping that. So that's kind of been fun and exciting, making this space mine. I also have some music that back in March, some of you may know, I did a recording session. I'm taking cello, and my lovely, lovely cello teacher is also a recording guy. And so we were talking after one of my cello lessons, and he asked me where I did my recording, and I explained that I do it with my keyboard up in my office because when I try and record myself with my grand piano, I end up getting a lot of ambient background noise. So he said, let me think about that. I think we can do better. So sure enough, he came over one day with 6 different microphones, all unidirectional, under the piano, over the piano, the side of the piano, everything. And we recorded music. Now, this was a little new for me as well. I typically record one track at a time. I allow myself to be in a state of being, an emotion, something, and I look at it as a collaboration with spirit, what wants to come through musically, through my spirit into my hands, and I record that way. Well, I wanted to have a little more of a heads up because I knew I was going to get recorded on my acoustic piano. I didn't want to waste Luciano's time. I really wanted to get the most out of this recording session. So I asked Spirit, I said, okay, what are we going to do? What wants to come through? And the next day, so clearly inside was the statement, Emerging with the Divine Feminine album. Oh, that lit me up. That excited me. And especially right now, I feel energetically we are doing that. The divine feminine is coming in. Rebalancing, right? This is a collective. It's perfect. And then they weren't finished. 5 tracks: Kuan Yin, Isis, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Sophia. All feminine ascended masters, goddesses, icons. So, yeah, this excited me. So what I did was, in preparation for this, and this came in about a week before the recording session, and many of you know I don't necessarily write out the music before I record it. It's improv. This time I kind of wanted to spend some time with each track. So I took Kuan Yin. What does Kuan Yin feel like musically for me? You know? And I was led to use a Chopin prelude in this track. Some of you may know it. It's termed the Raindrop Prelude. So when you hear this track, if you look for it, and in fact, it's going to be released on the summer solstice. So it will be the first track to be released for this upcoming album. And just a quick aside, these days, releasing albums isn't the best way to go. You're really encouraged, especially if you're a do-it-yourself musician, to release one track at a time because you can pitch it to different streaming platforms to be featured for things. And if you do an album, you have to pick one track to feature. So it really doesn't bode to do an album these days. So what I'm going to do is trickle release. I'll trickle a single, and then when it comes to the last single, I'll do the full album so I can benefit from each promoting each single. So anyway, Kuan Yin is coming out next week, which I'm excited about. And then Isis. What did Isis want to come? She's fiery. She came through very percussive, staccato. And then Mother Mary just had a very different frequency. So it was fascinating how each track came through in a different way. I loved how everything came out. So I'm really excited to be able to share the music from this. And of course, the sound with it being the acoustic piano. Now, I love how my music comes out on the keyboard as well, but there's something just with the acoustic sound. There's so many more colors that come through on this, so I'm really excited to share it with you. So I hope you'll tune in and check out some of this new music. I think I hope you'll be as excited and touched by each track as I am. Kuan Yin, for example, the first one that comes out next week, there's such a calming and relaxing feeling to her, which, if you've done any research on Kuan Yin, and she's an Asian goddess, I did a little bit of reading on her. She's known as the goddess of compassion. So being able to hold all that is, especially in today's world, with seemingly all the conflict, volatile, hostility, all the difficult things we are experiencing, and really having our face kind of pulled into it. Just that capacity to hold it all with kindness and compassion, but perhaps to not be drawn in, to be like the water where the water envelops all of it, goes into the crevices, but doesn't inflame. So interesting. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining me on this 5th episode. I know it isn't as long as some of the other ones have been, but again, I didn't want to let too much time go between our last episode and this episode. And I look forward to playing with Ro when she's back in July. And I hope all of you, dear audience, are finding things to comfort and elicit joy and pleasure this summer. Much love, and until later, bye. Thanks so very much for listening to our podcast. We hope you enjoyed yourself and will share the sound and the healing with your friends. Please go to our website with any questions or comments you may have, as we plan on using your questions in upcoming episodes. Our website and socials are included at the bottom of our episode descriptions, so please join us to continue the discussion. Until next time, keep on sounding and healing.